remember, guys, everything in these videos is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is actual facts.
In 1982, Roger Monroe predicted that demons would disguise themselves as aliens at the end of time.
That as the times on this planet gets more and more difficult, and calamities of all kinds are striking the planet more and more frequently. He says the grand plan, the Master's grand plan, for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. And he said it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff, because it says spirits, demon spirits will.
In 1982, Roger Monroe predicted
People are going to eat the stuff, because it says spirits, demon spirits will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet, unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it. And he went on saying that they will claim to have out-of-body experiences when the spirits will, through a trance medium, converse with influential people. Spirits will show themselves willing to give valuable guidance that will not only help people avoid the destruction of the planet, but it will cause them to enter into a higher state of existence.
So, guys, what do you think about that? I did a video about that. It hadn't got many views, but that would be a perfect disguise for demons, I would think. I mean, let me know if you agree. I mean, that would be a brilliant disguise for demons. Get them believing in these other things that, that aren't real, and you don't think it's a demon, so you don't think it's a threat from hell or from the devil. You think it's just some otherworldly being or something, like an alien or who knows what. I mean, they could disguise themselves as anything, I guess. I mean, they come in all shapes and forms, I believe it says in the Bible somewhere. Don't quote me on that, I'm not for sure. But yeah, that's just crazy, guys. It's terrible out there, but I mean, remember, guys, greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he does not exist. So he wants to fool you and get your mind looking over here, get your eyes looking over here while he's doing something over here. It's all a trickery. He's a great deceiver, guys. It's crazy.
Media Ministry, Pastor Billy Crone. Thanks so much for being back with us so soon. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, you too, Allison. Thanks for having me on.
Listen Absolutely. Up. Pay attention to this. What do you make of former U.S. intelligence official David Grush's statement at the House hearing stating that we recovered non-human remains from an alien craft?
Yeah, well, actually, if you read the Bible, this shouldn't surprise you.
Yep.
Because I think this is all part of a custom-tailored last days deception.
Yes, it
to
is.
Explain away the very event that God says is next on his prophetic time calendar. And that event is called the rapture of the church. And that is when God evacuates all born-again Christians, takes them off the planet before the worst time in the history of mankind is thrust upon the planet. The Bible calls that time the 7-year tribulation. So if, in fact, that event is going to happen and you're going to see millions of people disappear, and you're an enemy of God,
it could be a regular day,
what would you be doing? You better be coming up with the best excuse.
Guys, that could happen at any time. There's no telling when that'll happen. Now, after that happens, of course, a lot of things have to happen before Jesus actually comes back and throws the Antichrist in the lake of fire for eternity and everything. It's got to be 7 years. But, guys, yeah, when that rapture happened, that could happen right this second. That could happen tomorrow. That could happen 200 years from now. But I don't know if it says in the Bible. Please let me know if you know for sure. If there's a verse of it, I'm not sure. But like in Revelation, I don't know if it says like when after the rapture, the Antichrist will come and he'll start to kind of rule over. I know it's 7 years where he'll be in power and everything. Like 3.5 is where he kind of, he kind of just, paves the way for himself. It's slow. It's not, it's not like, hey, I'm God, fall down and worship me. He sets the stage for a while, for the first 3.5 years, to really convince people that, hey, this guy is doing good, and then after that, it turns a big corner. And then he starts, that's when he starts claiming, like, you know, in the last 3.5 years that he's God Almighty. People better worship him. If they don't, they're done. All kinds of stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, guys. But I don't know if he comes right after the rapture happens, like right after Jesus just comes in the blink of an eye and takes us all up, you know, the people that are saved and everything. Or I mean, he might wait a while. I don't know what kind of timetable that is. So, but yeah, the rapture could happen anytime, of course. But yeah, this is crazy. This guy's all over it. So let's keep going.
Excuse you can think of to explain away why all of a sudden these people disappeared, and specifically and only specifically Christians. Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what we have with the alien deception. They're called aliens. I agree with that, guys. They're non-humans. But I don't agree with their assessment that there are a higher evolved race of beings from the other side of the solar system or galaxy.
What did the last one say, guys? They're demons. Guy from 1980 or something was saying it. Oh my God. And I'll get into it in a little bit.
Whatever here to help us. It's a deception.
Told you this.
They call them aliens. The Bible calls them demons. And they are right now being used to become the perfect excuse to explain away, hey, what happened to those people when all of a sudden they disappeared off the planet?
Damn. Oh my God. Oh my God. I never even thought of that. That's going to be the excuse they use. Holy shit. Guys, I never even put that together. All these alien abductions. Holy crap. That blew my mind right there. I cannot believe what I just heard, and I never pieced that together. All these alien abductions, people disappearing, claiming they've, you know, been probed and, you know, they've gone up to these spaceships and everything. That's what the government and the media, the news and everything is going to say when the rapture happens, because the last thing they want you knowing is that we're in a rapture, of course. That's the last thing the devil, the enemy wants, you know, is for people to know that, hey, Jesus came down in the blink of an eye in a moment and just took a ton of people up to heaven with him. You know, I don't know how many people it'll be. It might not be that many, to be honest. But you know, you see how the world is. But anyway, guys, yeah, it'll be a good bit of people, and they'll just be missing. They'll disappear out of nowhere, and people will be wondering what in the world's going on here. And the news will spin this and say they were abducted by aliens. We've been telling you, why do you think now all of a sudden they just, like maybe a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I'm not really sure about it, guys, you can let me know, but the government and NASA and all these things have just started to actually come out and admit that they have, like, you know, bodies of aliens and stuff, that they have been doing research on UFOs, on aliens. They're setting us up. They're setting the stage for the excuse for when the rapture comes. Of course, they don't know when the rapture's coming, but just in case, they're ready. They're ready for the lie. They're ready for the excuse to say, yeah, well, I mean, what have we been saying? We told you that aliens were real. We told you that, you know, this is going on, that we've been doing DNA research of aliens, of UFOs. We've been researching this type of stuff. I mean, it does exist. So yeah, these people are gone. That's what happened. They were abducted. So you will not think that we're in the end times, and people will buy that. So you will not realize that we are in the end times, in biblical times, and it wasn't Jesus that took them up, and that's not why they disappeared. It's got to be an alien abduction, and the enemy wins again. This alien demon connection, this is crazy, guys. You got to follow this. All right, I'm going to let it play out.
And again, what should you expect if we're getting close to that event that Bible calls the rapture? Then you should see exactly what we're seeing in the news right now. And that is, for decades, we've known that the government and the governments around the world have completely denied any existence of aliens, alien crafts, whatever.
Always.
A few years ago, you noticed that they immediately switched gears and they started saying, well, yeah, I guess.
Okay, so guys, I apologize. It was a few years ago. I didn't know it was that long ago. I guess I heard about it maybe a year ago or a few months ago. It hadn't been that long for me when I heard them admitting it. I cannot believe I never put that together. Oh my God. Oh, this thing goes so deep.
There are some craft that we see out there that seem to be alien, not of indigenous to planet Earth. Now what you're seeing is the next step that you can expect.
All right, so guys, I've never seen this guy's videos, so apparently he's been doing this for a while. This is the first video. I just typed in aliens or demons, aliens as demons on TikTok just to get some videos to make a reaction to it and everything. So I've never seen this guy before, but I'm going to check this guy out. Yeah, I'm going to check this guy's videos out because apparently he's been saying this for quite a while, so good for him.
And they are now saying not only crafts, but these beings, these non-human beings are in these crafts, and they're starting to admit that now. And the reason why is because it's called soft disclosure, predictive programming. If you're going to use the alien UFO thing to explain away the rapture of the church, then you have to slowly work people up into that, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So I'm not surprised by it because I'm convinced it's the excuse to explain away what happened to those people that disappeared.
Wow, fascinating stuff, and I sure hope you're right. I sure hope this does.
My God, I cannot believe what I just heard, and I can't believe I was so stupid to ever believe that aliens were actually real, guys. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later in the video. I'm not gonna go into that whole thing right now, but I'll tell you how I was fooled too. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but let's move on.
A demonic spirit posing as a gray alien came to me when I was asleep, and it tried to offer me words of destruction and delusion. And I can already hear some of you now. Why is a demon coming to him trying to deceive him? Because number one, that's what demons like to do. They like to deceive. Number two, even Satan himself came to Jesus. So no matter how saved you are, that does not make you exempt from spirits coming to you trying to deceive you in your sleep or whenever. But this spirit came to me and it tried to take on the form of a gray alien, right? And it was like it tried to quote Genesis, and it tried to tell me the part that says, let us make man in our image, that should be attributed to them. But you know what I said? I said no, and in the name of Jesus, go. Because it tried to put me in paralysis as well. And guess what? It left, didn't come back to bother me. These alien visitations, they're demonic in nature. We're actually teaching a class on this subject at the end of the month. It's affordable.
So if you didn't know, Elon Musk launched another SpaceX rocket today. And I personally believe him and other entities are trying to break the firmament. And as wild as this sounds, I believe this whole SpaceX thing is the new version of the Tower of Babel. Humans have always tried going extra measures with tons of stuff.
Yeah, okay guys, the Tower of Babel, isn't that where people just, they tried to build something so high that it would reach the heavens and everything, or that it would pass the heavens or something. They were trying to be, on the level of God or past God or whatever. I think that's what the Tower of Babel was, guys. Yeah. So yeah, that's what that's what it sounds like. Because why are you trying to? What are they trying to crack? They're trying to crack something. And they're trying to crack the firmament that's up there, the dome, supposedly. Not supposedly. It says it in the Bible that that's what it is. But, yeah, they're trying to crack this thing. And why would you want to do that? Because, all this, if you were to crack it, which, of course, is going to be impossible because you're not going to... God created it to, to stop the waters above the firmament from coming down and pouring on us and everything, just constantly. He divided the water above and the water below, so with the firmament, so it's not going to crack, of course, but why would you try to do it? What's the purpose of it? They're just trying to say that, hey, we can, same thing, I guess. Trying to say they're on the level of God. It's crazy.
And if you don't know what the Tower at Babel is, it was basically humans trying to build a tower so high that it would reach the heavens. Okay. They're literally doing the same thing with this whole SpaceX shit. Let's watch this rocket explode on the firmament real quick. I fast forwarded.
Oh my.
That was a huge explosion. And I personally believe that the explosion looks like this because there's water above the firmament. The firmament separates the waters from above from the waters below. So this is the three-story universe. The sun and moon is inside the firmament, and above the firmament you have the ocean of heavens, and above the ocean of heavens you have the heaven of heavens.
On Operation Fishbowl, nuclear detonations rent the sky 5 times over the Johnston Island.
The video I just showed you was the actual operation that went by the name Operation Fishbowl, and they sent high-altitude weapons in the sky trying to break the firmament. So this has been going on. Yeah. It's just that Elon Musk has brought it back. And if you ask me, this explosion and this explosion look similar. And it's so wild to me how America...
Not gonna ever do it, guys. You're just not gonna crack it. You can't, not gonna crack something or, you know, break something that God built. The only thing that breaks that God made is humans. And that's because he gave us free will to make the choice to not choose him. And that's why we eventually break sometimes, because we go the wrong route and choose to follow other people or, you know, other things instead of him. So that leads to humans' downfall. Not anything he did, not his mistake, but, you know, anything that he created, nah, you don't have a chance. Sorry.
America is a Christian country, but tells people that the earth is a globe, when clearly it says in their own Bible in Genesis that there's a firmament above us, and the firmament by the name Operation Fishbowl, and they sent high-altitude weapons in the sky trying to break the firmament. So this has been going on. It's just that Elon Musk has brought it back. And if you ask me, this explosion and this explosion look similar. And it's so wild to me how America is a Christian country, but tells people that the earth is a globe, when clearly it says in their own Bible in Genesis that there's a firmament above us, and the firmament separates the waters from the waters. I ain't gonna say too much about that, but just ponder on that contradiction.
Guys, I had never heard the word firmament up until like a month and a half ago, watching these videos. And people were talking about, I mean, it was I think it was a girl talking about it on one of these, just a random video of these guys that do like the, you know, long videos, a bunch of different clips and everything like I'm going to be doing here. But a girl was talking about the firmament and the dome, and like, I'm like, what is she on? And then she starts quoting the scriptures, Genesis. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this in the Bible? And I'll look it up, and it's right there in the very beginning. It's right there in the beginning. Firmament. Guys, I've never heard the word firmament ever in anything I've been taught in school, in anything. What are we taught? We're taught about planets. We're taught about different we're taught about space. We're taught about the earth is round, it's moving around constantly. You know, the moon and the clouds and everything are just floating around. We're taught about space, different planets, Mars, Venus, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, whatever. By the way, somebody said this in a video or in something I was reading or whatever the other day, that why are all the planets named after pagan gods? Okay, go figure that one out, guys. Hey, that's not a coincidence, I don't think. But yeah, it's all BS, guys. It's not true. There is no space. There is nothing like that. It's a dome covering us all. And I bought into this shit about aliens and stuff. I bought into it because, hey, I believe space was real. There are other worlds. There are other planets. So, okay, why wouldn't there be stuff living on there? Why wouldn't there be other beings, you know, things living up there, you know, in these other planets? That makes complete sense if you believe space is real. And it probably would be if there was a space, if there were really other planets. None of this stuff is real, guys. It's right there in the Bible. But yeah, these aliens are described as, the demons are disguising themselves as what we think are aliens, as what we know, you know, have been told aliens look like in the shows and movies and all that stuff, guys. It's insane. And the video a few back, you know, with the guy talking about, you know, oh my God, that blew my mind. I still can't get past that, guys. That they're setting the trap. They're setting it up right now. So when people disappear in the rapture, after Jesus comes and takes his people up, before the really bad time starts, before the end times, those last 7 years, the tribulation, when he takes us up, The government's going to spin it. Well, yeah, we told you about aliens. They're setting it. They're setting the trap, guys. Minute by minute, second by second. They're corrupt. They're full of shit. Don't buy into it. Please. Watch videos like this. This is the truth.
We're in the age of Aquarius and the truth is being revealed. Revelations, the great reveal, the lifting of the veil. Comment and let me know what y'all think about this video.
Their rockets, this is how they claim they get into outer space, is these rockets. Their rockets never go straight up. Every single rocket launch from a government space agency, you'll notice, follows a parabolic curve. It goes up, it reaches a peak, but what they do is as the rocket starts coming back down, they make sure that it goes down over the ocean, out of the way of any curious observers. Anyone can see it coming back down to Earth, asks, hey, how come the rocket's not going up anymore? Well, it's going around the curvature of the Earth, is what they tell us. So every single rocket, the reason that it follows a parabolic curve, they say, is because it's going around the curvature of the Earth. The real reason is they can't get up any higher than that.
Look at this shit, dude.
The only thing that's been to space is your imagination.
They tell us that the Earth is a sphere. They show us pictures of a sphere, of a circle. It's a perfect circle. And then they come out and they say, well, it's actually an oblate spheroid. Oh, what's that? Well, it's a sphere that's flattened at both poles, so it's more of an oval shape. It actually bulges out south of the equator, as well as being flattened at the poles. So it's more pear-shaped.
So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
So now it's pear-shaped. So why are all of these official NASA photos and videos showing perfect spheres when it's actually an oblate spheroid or a pear-shaped spheroid? They can't get their story straight. And the reason they keep changing it is that to fit the model, they have to change the shape of the Earth. South of the equator is larger than north of the equator because lines of longitude that just extend outwards, they don't contract back. So they concede that in their pear model. They say, well, the side bulges out south of the equator. It's bigger south of the equator. Yeah, it is, because it's flat. But instead of admitting that, they just, make tweaks to their model as time goes on. They say that the ball Earth tilts back 23.5 degrees. That's another tweak they made because we can see Polaris, which is right over the North Pole, from 23.5 degrees south latitude. Shouldn't be able to see that on a ball. So they just tilt the Earth back and then okay, now you can see it. And so they come up with explanations in reverse like this. Damage control, reverse engineered explanations.
Alright, guys. I just want to go back. This is all you need to see. This thing covers it all right there. NASA strictly founded to hide God. To hide God's existence, to keep people from believing in God. If you believe in the Big Bang Theory, you believe in space, you believe in all these other planets, all these multiple worlds and millions of, atoms and everything like this. There's only one thing, guys, it's the Earth, and there's a firmament, a dome over it, and that's what God made it like. Now, guys, I'm not saying that anybody believes in space. They're an atheist, of course. I thought space was real for 41 years of my life. Unfortunately, I had never been told about a firmament. I had never learned about it in school, and I'm very sure they're still not teaching about it in school. Guys, is there a movie, is there a show that has ever mentioned a firmament? I mean, I know there's stuff that said there's domes over towns and stuff like that, like a virus or something going on, But I mean, now maybe it is. Maybe I just didn't see it, or maybe I didn't see those movies or shows, or maybe I did and I just didn't connect it, just didn't realize what they were saying, didn't think of it. Let me know if there is anything. But everything we see in media is all about the Earth being round, is all about space, multiple planets, multiple, worlds and everything, parallel universes and all that stuff. That's not by accident. They're trying to tell you something. They are trying to push an agenda, okay? And that, like I say, guys, NASA strictly founded to hide God. That's all you really need to see in this video. That couldn't be any more truth right there. All right, guys. So that's it.